Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. I have a lot to talk about. I'm not just focusing on one thing this time. I know typically I just dig my head into G.I. Joe Classified series and Marvel Legends. This time it's like a cornucopia of figure stuff, figure news, and all my excitement about upcoming products that have just been revealed. We've got some stuff from Hot Toys with the Mandalorian subset, got MAFEX reveals, some cool Marvel Legends, and some wish list items for me on that front. A little bit of bad news on the 6-inch collector front as a whole, and I'm going to wrap it up talking about some WWE items with Ultimate Edition lineup and some Legends 13 news. So first off, we're going to start off with the Hot Toys. Today they revealed the Koska Reeves and the Axe Woves figure. Really amazing. The quality of the Hot Toys figures is bar none the best. When they really put their effort into it, they are untouchable. I've collected so many Sasha Banks figures over the years, trying to find like that perfect one. Mattel is they've come close, but we haven't had one. It's like, okay, just use this head sculpt. Never go with anything else. This is it. They've done that with the Charlotte Flair figures and Becky Lynch, but they just haven't been able to crack that code for Sasha. And I wonder if they could just call up the Hot Toy sculptors and go, hey, can we borrow whatever you did because we need to transfer this to our 6-inch scale wrestling figures. This figure's head sculpt looks amazing. I mean, the likeness is so dead on. You wouldn't need anything. If you painted it blue, people would be like, oh, that's clearly Sasha Banks. And it just looks incredible. All the details on the outfit. You see the flamethrower on the left gauntlet. The backpack is removable. The helmet looks nice and big and oversized, so you won't have a lot of scratching issues pulling the helmet on and off of the head. And it just really looks great. And this matches up really well with the Bo-Katan figure that we already have. And Hot Toys decided, we're not going to leave you guys hanging. We're not going to make you wait 6 months, 2 years before we complete the team. We're actually going to bring out Axe Woves right now. And Axe Woves looks cool. There's just one problem. There's no removable head sculpt, at least from what we've seen. And at the price change from Koska Reeves to Axe is any indication, we're not going to see that because Sasha, I knew I was going to keep doing that. Koska is 270 and Axe Woves is 230, which means, and is very likely, we're not going to see a separate head sculpt of actor Simon Cassanides. And I'm really disappointed because I feel like we've got all the rest of them with the removable helmets, and what's the deal with not getting him completed? I guess this is better than not getting a Cara Dune to hang out with these guys. I think that's going to be such a problem. And, you know, I've talked about this on the other show with my brother. It just sucks for all of us fans of The Mandalorian to have to suffer because Gina Carano said something off camera and just, you know, they wrote her off, and that's whatever. I still feel like they should have recast Cara Dune so we could still have her show up in these adventures. But it just sucks because we're never going to have a complete Mandalorian lineup. We'll get Grief Karga, we'll get Quill, but it's just going to be something missing not having the heavy hitter who was there pretty much right from the jump with Mando. And I wish there was a third party organization out there who would be like, here, we'll take it. We'll make a 12-inch figure of Cara Dune with Gina Carano's likeness. And just so we can have a full set. Because we've seen the pictures now with Fennec, with Bo-Katan and Koska. And it's just like, yo, there's one other person missing in the shot as they're coming to storm Moff Gideon's bridge. And it's just kind of like, we're never going to get that scene unless some third party, some smaller company decides we've got you. So maybe that is on the way and somebody's working on it right now. But back to Axe Woves, really cool looking figure. Just the problem of not being able to take his helmet off, sit at the table with the rest of them. I know he's not as important because he wasn't there on season 2's Mandalorian finale. So, you know, it's not like, oh man, we really need him. And I think his price tag kind of indicates that there's some doubt with Hot Toys about his viability. But I think if he had a separate head sculpt with the removable head and, you know, we could see his likeness, that would go a whole huge way in terms of making that another selling point for the figure. But we'll see. But I am very excited about what we've got from The Mandalorian. So far, we've got most of the principal characters. We even got Ahsoka. We've got Luke. Oops, sorry for spoilers if for some reason you managed not to see that. Fennec. We've got Boba Fett. Both versions of him. And I guess Grief Karga is really the last person that we need of the main characters. Maybe Mayfeld later, but I feel like he should be coming up real soon at this point. And after this week's Book of Boba Fett, my excitement for Mandalorian is even higher now. So I have not gotten any of these Hot Toys Mandalorian figures. I really had to cut down because their prices started going and my wallet and bank account and salary was like here. So yeah, but it's a small enough line in Hot Toys in the Star Wars universe that I don't have to get every figure, and I can get one version of Mando. I can get Ahsoka. I can get Koska, Bo-Katan, Moff Gideon, Grief Karga, and Fennec and Boba. All right, that's too many, but I can keep that down to about 10, and that would be a pretty cool, amazing looking display of Mandalorian figures. So I don't know. I am so close to talking myself into going all in with it. I do have my Hot Toys Lando coming very soon, and I'm very excited to get Billy D. Williams, Super Smooth, right in the middle of my Empire Strikes Back Hot Toys collection, hanging with Leia and Chewbacca after he sold Han Solo down the river to Boba Fett. All right, so next up, Marvel Legends. We got to see some exciting new pictures of that X-Men animated tribute series, and it's basically the cell shading elements added to older figures. We got some more pictures of that Wolverine. He really looks like a great figure. I think I love the packaging so much I may get the Wolverine. He's got the tiger stripe outfit, the much smaller mask. I can just replace that, have that as my John Byrne version of Wolverine hanging out through the Dark Phoenix saga. So love to get him in there. Jubilee looks cool. I just wish they figured out some way to shrink her down a little bit. Like, honey, I shrunk my Marvel Legends Jubilee figure because she's still a little bit too tall next to Wolverine, next to Rogue and Jubilee and Cyclops. She doesn't look like a teenager. She looks like she's a young adult. And I just wish they had just made her a little bit smaller so we get the X-Men teen sidekick thing, that visual a lot better. We've also seen now some new pictures of Mr. Sinister. He looks cool. I think he is the figure that benefits the most from this cell shading and just a different look. He really stands out from the original figure. And I think if you didn't get that figure by any reason, this is a pretty nice substitute. Which led me to think, what would be some cool figures to add on to this wave? And I think Morph has to be a lock for it because there's so much you can do with Morph. Maybe you just ditch the cell shading, come up with some alternate heads for characters, maybe Cyclops, maybe Jean Grey, Storm. You know, there's a lot of possibilities. And some characters that could actually be fixed with just a Morph figure. You know, if you watch my old episode talking about the Age of Apocalypse line, there are some issues with some of those figures that a Morph with different head sculpts could fix. And I think the same is also true with a animated Morph in this X-Men cartoon homage line. And the last figure I think that really would work without a lot of fuss, a lot of trouble, would be Beast. And I just take the Beast that we got, that really great looking figure, really highly articulated, actually able to do a handstand, and just make a happy face for him. I think that would cover it. There was a gray Beast that came out a few years ago, and it was a smiley, happy Beast. And I think if they just did that, colored it blue and not too much cell shading on that one, we would have an ideal Beast. And I think that would work really well. Of course, then I would be clamoring for a more George Perez style happy Beast that would fit along with the Avengers. So I'm never satisfied. I'm never happy on the Marvel Legends front. But there was some concerning news that just got dropped. Dorkside Toys revealed that Hasbro is going to be raising the MSRP of Marvel Legends to $24.99, and it seems like that's going to carry over to basically all of Hasbro's brands. So that means instead of $22.99, we're going to see $24.99 price tags on Marvel Legends, the Star Wars Black Series, Power Rangers, pretty much everything we've been collecting at this price point. That's tough because that makes a wave so much more expensive. So if you're you know, like one of these guys like me who's like, oh man, I don't know, can I wait for a sale? I need to get this figure because who knows what'll happen. That's going to be the one that I decide to wait, and it's going to be $80 come this November and December. And then all the figures I've got are now $10. And I think this last holiday season really made me have a little bit of buyer's remorse just in terms of when I bought these figures. Because I've always been about, yo, you need to buy these figures at regular price, show the support for the line. If they get clearanced out, we may not see this line continue. But I'm kind of at this point where $25, so 4 figures gets you up over $100. I need those Target sales, buy 2, get 1 free. I need the GameStops, buy 1, get 50% off of the other one. It's just, there's so much now where it's just kind of this price is very close to those impulse purchases or those, hey, I'll just get this random lame figure that I don't care about just because they have a cool Build-A-Figure piece that I really need. I think this is going to see a lot of people on eBay not going for those figures but looking for those parts, which may make those more expensive. It's just a bad situation all around. Like I said, if my paycheck was going up with the cost of plastic and everything else, instead of just being steady, I wouldn't care. But I mean, it's like we're the ones who are suffering from the price increases of everything. That's really tough. I think Hasbro's done some good work, but I kind of feel like, again, with that Age of Apocalypse Wave 2, there's so many characters in that lineup that had little problems. Magneto having the wrong colored tights, not having a blackened silhouette mask helmet sculpt, Iceman having the wrong hair sculpt, Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde having a snarling, angry face instead of more of a cocky, self-assured, confident look. And it was just, there's so many issues. And the Morph figure from the first wave, who was more of an Exile style with the dark purple instead of the turquoise that he actually wore during that arc. Lots of things where I was more forgiving of these little problems when they were $19.99. When they bumped them up to $22.99, things like Invisible Woman retro head sculpt was a problem because there was no alternate head sculpt there, which means I had to just deal with it or do like a lot of people and just customize it. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be a lot more selective about figures and how they turn out. So it may be, oh, I'm so excited about this Marvel Legends Tigra figure that we've been overdue for so long. Oh man, both of these head sculpts kind of suck. They don't work for the West Coast Avengers style Tigra. Oh well, I need to get her to complete my team, but now she's $25 and I'm not paying that price for her. The Scarlet Witch and the West Coast Avengers White Vision, they've been bumped up in price on Amazon to $25.99 already. And that Wanda was cool. I mean, I like the lighter colors, more comic book accurate ones, but I have that exact figure just with a darker paint job. And I don't feel like paying $25 for a figure with a slightly different paint job. I think this is where Hasbro is going to have to make sure that they're cranking out the definitive versions of characters, not doing that, well, let's set this up for a double dip. Like with that AI Iron Man that had the blue hologram light or the ion reactor instead of just a classic yellow in there. It's just kind of, we know they're going to do another version of that figure eventually, but it kind of feels like, And then we got those vintage 20th anniversary figures that are $31.99. Not feeling that price tag on those. And I think I'm getting to a point where I'm okay if I don't get something. That fear of missing out is not there when the price goes up to $25 for figures, and that's not including tax. So it's just probably going to end up paying like $26 for figures. I know when I got my first figure at that new $22.99 price point, I was like, whoa, what's wrong? I got to check my Target Red Card rewards and shop kicks and find out how to knock this down to normal. And then those figures started showing up in November and December for $12. And it's like, this is so stupid. I haven't even reviewed these guys yet. So yeah, that's a long, very long-winded way of saying I think we're going to be a lot more selective about the Marvel Legends figures I get. There need to be some killer Build-A-Figures because otherwise I just can't see pulling the trigger on as many of these guys as I have in the past. I think with a line like G.I. Joe Classified series where they're coming loaded with accessories, in some cases alternate heads or alternate hair pieces, I see that value. They never included build figure pieces, so I don't feel like I'm getting screwed over. With these retro figures, we're seeing, hey, no Build-A-Figure, and maybe here's another accessory piece that we've done already. And I kind of feel like that's a really terrible value at that point. At least the 25 or 20, the $25 Marvel Legends at least build something. Those retro card figures, I think, are going to be in serious danger of not really selling well on the shelves. And we're going to see them clearance like we are the Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman with this retro line of Fantastic Four figures right now. So, a lot of stuff on that front to be leery of. And it also kind of makes me feel I don't mind as much paying more for figures that are done the way I want them to without any problems, without any issues. And that brings me up to MAFEX. They showed off their latest 2 reveals, and I hate their slow, so slow reveal release pattern of figures. They showed a Nightwing from Hush. So it's based off of the Jim Lee design. Figure looks amazing. They've got some really cool accessories. His sticks actually have a twirling kind of deal where they're in mid twirl. That's cool. That's something the Nightwing did a lot, so it's nice to have that as a display option. Sticks also have like a grapple Billy Club Daredevil style deal. That looks really nicely done as well. They did the pose where he and Batman are running and it looked just like the comic book. It was really exciting to see that. There's no wire cape with Nightwing, so no issues there. No guns to not have. So Nightwing really looks like a great figure. Got 2 head sculpts, one a little bit more angry and one that's just kind of smirking. Very much fitting with Dick Grayson. And this looks like it'll be one of my favorites of these MAFEX Hush figures. They've been cranking them out at a pretty decent clip. And I'm hoping, really hoping, that we start to see them break out a little bit more. We've got one with the Nightfall, Azrael as Batman, and then we're starting to get more with the Reign of the Supermen series with Cyborg Superman, Recovery Suit Superman. It's about time to see Steel, the Eradicator, and Superboy hopefully scaled properly. And also, we need a Tim Grayson in his classic original red and green outfit. And I don't care if it's based on Hush, because it's like that was the look. We just haven't seen that in a really quality version in a 6-inch scale. And now, that's pretty much the price of 2 figures on, just from regular, or 3 figures. And these guys are right now on Sideshow Collectibles. I'll post the link. So if you want them, you can get Nightwing right now. And he's $99 free shipping, which is great with no shipping. And it's like, all right, that's the price of 4 Marvel Legends and I'm good. The other figure they revealed was kind of interesting, way out of left field, was a T-800 from the Terminator. And the head sculpts are really great because they show the increasing damage that it's facing as it's fighting against my man Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. And I am very intrigued with this figure. I think it looks great. I think if they show us the Kyle Reese, I will definitely go and grab this T-800. And I'm also curious how far they're going to go in this, because clearly there have been several Terminator films. The T-1000 seems like a pretty good choice for another line. Maybe the T-800 revamped version from T2, a Sarah Connor jacked up with the guns showing and the guns all set to go. She's so cool in that movie. Anyway, lots of cool options. I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with more movies that aren't just in the DC, the Marvel, and the Star Wars banner. So let's see where they go with that. And let me know what other lines you'd like to see MAFEX tackle on that front as well. All right, so next up, I promised this earlier, WWE got some new additions. Got the Earthquake figure, So Much Light. There you go. This is from the Royal Rumble wave. He is part of the Build-A-Figure Jimmy Hart set. And you can see this here. It's got Dakota Kai. It's got Big E and Yokozuna. So this is Earthquake when he basically first started wearing something beyond those crappy brown singlets, and he just showed off, hey, I'm from Canada, hey. And I love getting different versions of Earthquake. I think they've done a really good job at Mattel of getting different versions of John Tenta. Here is the natural disaster version. I always thought that figure looked cool. And then we've got the peak of his solo run Earthquake with the seismic chart going on his singlet. Now we still, if we want to be a little bit fancy and get one more version of Earthquake. There's the plain blue, and I don't know if that's worth just acetoning out on this figure here or going with, just going with this style. And I'd love to see them do a Dino Bravo because it's like the last guy from so many moments with Earthquake, and it just kind of feels weird to have Earthquake and not his running buddy, his guy that he helped team up with against Hogan, Tugboat, Big Boss Man, etc. And I love that we're actually getting a Jimmy Hart with this because the Mouth of the South already has a figure, but I'm always down for more versions of managers, especially somebody like Jimmy Hart who wore all those different jackets. And it's really cool to just get him in this format. Hopefully his legs are short enough that he's not towering over anyone. For some reason, that is Mattel's Achilles heel with their lineups. The managers are way too tall. It's just kind of bugging me because I wish that they need them all to be shorter and smaller, to not looking eye to eye with their charges, unless we're talking about somebody who was tall like Colonel Rob Parker. Now, I got my Ultimate Edition Kane. I was really excited about this figure. Unfortunately, I still got the busted elbow joint where it's like the paint is just screwy. It's just totally missing on that elbow. It's just, I am really amazed that came out. The figure otherwise is great, but wow, that arm is bad. I'm very glad that Hasbro, Mattel was like, we will fix this. We'll send an arm replacement out to you and different heads, and we'll just make this right. And I think they absolutely needed to in this case because it's ridiculous that that got out to people just in general before that got fixed. But yeah, and the Undertaker figure is not showing up in stores. It keeps fluctuating and teasing me on Target's website. It's like here, but you can add it to your cart. It's a pain. And I was like midway through shooting my review of Kane, and I was like, this is weird. I really need to have Undertaker fighting him. And I'm trying to figure out where I can find a white jersey so I can just dump some red Kool-Aid over my Stone Cold Steve Austin figure in the ring, and then have Kane do his voice box thing of Ed King of the Ring Austin. The blood on you will be real. That was great. That was one of my favorite all-time wrestling moments, and I just thought Kane was so cool, and I just thought they did a messed up job in not having Kane hold the title for more than a day. Anyway, that's that. We're also seeing the Legends Series 13 in Targets as well. Remember, that line is exclusive to Target. I was able to get the Chase Jake the Snake Roberts figure. I was very happy. I've seen the Chase several times since I found the Waves. So it's not a deal where, oh no, you're never going to get a shot at these guys. I really wish they would just decide to put that blue tights Brutus Beefcake figure back out in rotation in stores so we could actually get that if we wanted. But I'm so happy that if you want different Chase versions, it's not this, flip a coin and hope for the best thing. And this one was really cool because it's his attire from WCW when he was there for like a cup of coffee and a donut. And it's cool because he's got the gray tights, he's got the glove. I wish there was a Cole Miner's glove they could throw on there, or spin the wheel from their feud. It's too bad we don't have a really quality Sting figure to pair him up with. That's just a real issue. But that Jake figure looks cool, and I am really much awaiting news on the latest Legends lineup. We've got some teases, some possible leaked list that Elite 94 is going to have Bret the Hitman Hart and British Bulldog along with the Stephanie McMahon. Those figures all could qualify for Legends. Of course, British Bulldog and Bret. Maybe we'll have that SMH version of Stephanie because that seems to be the most iconic version of her that we still have not gotten in the Elite lineup yet, which is weird because that's something we should get before the McMahons decide we don't want figures anymore. But cannot wait to see what they do with Bret. I want to see him in another Ultimate Edition figure, maybe in that all black, all pink. I mean, there are lots of options with Bret. And British Bulldog is now going to get pushed a little bit further back from an Ultimate Edition figure. He's somebody that I want to see in that lineup as well, so we can do like a super jacked up power slam. And Ultimate Edition 12 is now shipping from Ringside Collectibles. So if you pre-order there, you can get your Fiend, your Burnt Fiend, I guess it's Burnt Fiend, your Fiend, and Crazy Possess Alexa Bliss. Those are two really cool offerings. I feel like they're super late just getting out to people though, so I'm not quite sure what the demand is at this point. And I'm really looking forward to Ultimate Edition 13 because that one is Hulk Hogan and Mr. T from WrestleMania. And that Hogan looks like it'll be the definitive early to mid 80s version of Hulkster. And that means we'll still need a late 80s like Mega Powers on to 90, maybe 91 version Hogan, and then a 91, 92, and then well, I guess we do have the scrawny I'm back and I'm off my special vitamins brother version with the fan takeover Hogan. And then we got the Hollywood Hogan. So that's great. We're getting close to knocking out all the really major versions of Hulk Hogan. And if you got figures of WWE, you got to have a Hulk Hogan that's worth a darn. And I think they're getting really close. And especially if they have the tan for that one, it looks like in the pictures, this one could be it. So really much looking forward to that one as well. All right, well, that's it for me. Good news. My G.I. Joe Classified Series Bat from Hasbro Pulse arrived today. Yay. I know a lot of you guys have been out there building your bats and alley vipers armies. So if you get a chance, drop a picture in the comments section so I can check them out. I love to see them. And thank you so much for watching. As always, episode allows figure files has been filed.